Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Applied Digital Skills. It'll be presented today by Tina Height. My name is Emily Gleekus and I'll be moderating for her. A few things before she gets started. If you will double click on this, the part of the screen where you see the slide that says Applied Digital Skills, that will make that video box bigger so that you are looking at Tina's presentation bigger than my face. And then as she is presenting, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to use the chat to the right side of the screen so that you can ask Tina any questions and we can pick her brain while we've got her. And so with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Tina.
Okay, great. I am going to turn my camera off at this point, but I wanted to let you know I really am a live person and I'm here in my home with lousy internet. So hopefully it holds out during this presentation. So this is about the applied digital skills offered by Google for Education. But before we get into that, I wanted to invite you to myworkplace.com. It is a place where we can continue the conversations. It is a Facebook product, so it looks and feels very much like Facebook without you having to attach to your personal account. So this is strictly for work. So much like you might have a personal email and a work email, you can have a personal Facebook, and then this would be your work Facebook. And if you have an NM account, you all are already in. Just go to my.workplace.com, sign in with your NM email, and you have an account, and you are a member of this classroom teachers group where teachers hang out and discuss stuff. And it can be anything. There's also a great group called, Emily, you might have to help me, hashtag Teachers Alone Together. Is that it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And that is a very entertaining group about working in these times of COVID and some of the challenges that we face, and done in a humorous way. Don't already have an NMDelt account, it's real easy to get one. Go to nmdelt.org and click on request an email, complete the form. Not only do you get your G Suite account, so that gives you access to all the G Suite for Education tools, but also the state purchase licenses for Nearpod and Screencast-O-Matic. We also have out there the professional development survey. I've sent this out in emails. And if you haven't gotten the link yet, Emily's going to post it in the chat. Please take a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, to complete this form. We want some information about your skills, your interests, and your professional development needs to help provide the appropriate professional development for you in the coming years. And also, we've been doing this over time, so we get to see growth over time in the skills. Lastly, we have the motivational coaching course coming up. It starts next week. It's a 10-week course. It takes 3 to 4 hours a week to participate. But it helps your students build those critical thinking skills that deal with their own situations, their own lives, and how they can achieve their goals, and how you can be that coach, that kind of, I don't even want to say guide on the side, because it's not really your job to guide them, but to listen to them and ask questions to help them think a little bit more deeply about what they want to do and how they can get it done. So again, Emily should have posted that in the chat. Great. So digital tools. I mean, we've heard this for quite a while now. When will I ever use digital tools in real life? Why do I have to learn how to use the computer? I just want to stick with paper and pencil. we can see, especially now in this time of COVID, that digital tools are very important. And what we've been hearing from employers is we need people who know how to use these digital tools, and not just the computer, but how to use their mobile phone to be able to do things, and other digital tools. So Google's Applied Digital Skills focuses, of course, on Google products, but these skills are transferable. So if you learn how to do something in Google Sheets, you can do it in Excel as well. The same, not so much with sites, but you can create a Google site that's transferable to a lot of other website programs. Slides are pretty much the same. So you're going to find that those skills transfer very, very well. But this poster, which is included on their website, this is just the top half, because when I did the full poster, you couldn't read anything. But a few occupations you might not have thought use digital tools. Electricians might use sheets to track labor and give estimates. They can use slides to get approval from planning committees. They might use drawings to sketch new lighting techniques, or sketch lighting designs, I'm sorry. YouTube to learn new techniques. And calendar to schedule installations. How many of you use your calendar on your phone? Just teaching people how to use that can be a great advantage. We have construction workers, HR managers, retail associates. You might not think that they would use the same digital tools, but they can use sheets to track inventory, calendar to make schedules, drawings to create display signs, and forms to request customer feedback. So this is all a part of that Applied Digital Skills package. So we're going to jump right into the G Suite certification exam. So this is one of the other things that I really like about Google's Applied Digital Skills, is there is actually a certification test that our students can take, and then they have certification that they can show to employers to build a stronger resume. So you're invited to either follow along with me or do exploration on your own. So again, Emily will paste this link into the chat so that you can go directly to the Applied Digital Skills with Google. And I am going to switch over there. Great. And I went to the wrong site. How do you like that? Because I wanted to go to the certification. I did make it to the right site. Why does this look different to me? I did not get to the certification.
You are in Applied Digital Skills, not in the...
Whoops. And that's not what I wanted to do either. So let's try this one more time. There we go. So now I'm in the certification link so that you know that there are two different places. So there's the certification site, and there is the straight Applied Digital Skills site. So in the certification site, you can see that you can prepare for the exam, you can take a practice exam, and then you can actually take the exam. One of the other things that I like is that it is endorsed by ISTE. We looked this up, and I didn't write it down, Emily. It was the International Society for Technical Education, I believe, or Technology Education.
Yeah.
Close to that.
Yes.
The important thing about ISTE that I know is they have developed technology standards based on our 21st century career skills. And they say that this certification test is clear, concise, well-designed, and effectively implemented with a strong emphasis on authentic performance-based activities. So that word authentic is very important to me as we are moving forward in adult education. You'll hear contextualized curriculum a lot, using authentic materials. So these are things that you're going to see in your daily life on a regular basis in the workforce, and not something that is created for the sake of a lesson. So Google has created all of these high quality lessons, how to use Drive, using Gmail, using Hangouts, working in documents, working in docs, which are documents, working in sheets, working in slides. So these are the Google tools that are within the Applied Digital Skills certification. And then because our adults are adults, they will take the Google Cloud certification program, or they'll take through the Google Cloud certification program is how they will test. The cost is $75. We've seen times where Google has offered special rates to our adult education students, so be on the lookout for that. And what they get is proof of a certified status, which includes a digital badge that they can put on their LinkedIn site. They can include that on their resume. The digital badge really helps the employer click on that and see exactly what they did to earn the badge, so that they can, it builds a portfolio in a way of skills. And what exactly does this mean, right? So an employer who's unfamiliar with applied digital skills can click on that badge and see that they know how to use Drive, how to use Gmail, all of these things. Okay. So focusing on the lessons now, let's just look at Docs Part 1. You can see that this takes 35 minutes to do. So when you're worried about time, how much time do I give my student for doing this? This one is pretty clear. It says 35 minutes. Time to complete is 45 to 90 minutes. That's a pretty big range, but it gives you an idea of how long it should take your student to do this. So somebody with a higher level of skills, maybe only 45 minutes, somebody lower level skilled, they may take the full 90. I'm just going to click on the introductory video. All of these are videos. You can see this icon here, means there's a video involved. Okay. Now, because my internet is slow, I'm going to play only a short portion of this, and hopefully everything works out.
The Google G Suite is a set of cloud-based apps that can be used to create documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and more. Earning your G Suite certification demonstrates your ability to use digital skills to work collaboratively and productively in person.
So if you're like me, or even some of our ESL students, he talks a little fast. One of the things, we do have accessibility tools here, so we can slow him down.
Professional environment. Completing this lesson about Google Docs will help prepare you for your G Suite certification exam. When you finish this lesson, you may choose to proceed and complete part 2 about Google Docs as well.
Okay, for our impatient students, or sometimes as instructors, we can speed through this.
Google Docs is a cloud-based word processing application that allows you to write, edit, and collaborate. You can format text and paragraphs using smart editing and styling tools.
So just about double time, right? So just to know that those playback speed options are there for you. As an instructor, if I were going through this and I want to know what's going on, maybe I just want to look at the transcript. So typically this is hidden when you first go into your video. Also notice it does have closed caption. but sometimes I just want to read the transcript. So this can happen. Again, I'm having internet issues today. So if your students have slow internet or have problems, the transcript is available for them as well. So we can just read through this. I can look and see, okay, we're using smart editing and styling tools. This lesson uses a planning document for a fundraiser organized by a community group. It's great. So as a teacher, I know a little bit more about that. Going to need a Google account. Open a starter project. Great. So now it's your turn. Open the starter project, copy and rename it. Okay.
So Tina, while you are talking about as a teacher evaluating these, going back to the suggested time that it gives you, how much time would you give your students for those assignments?
So let me just clarify on time. Are we talking about how much time should I enter into LACES, or how much time should I plan in a class for them to be able to do it?
I think how much to put into LACES. Kristen said, so how much time would you give them? Oh, she clarified. She said, how much time would you give an ACE student?
So how much time would I give an ACE student? So if I'm talking about planning my class time, I would plan that they would take the full 90 minutes to complete the assignment. If I'm then entering it into LACES and I'm using a teacher verification model, I probably would split the difference and go somewhere around an hour, right? So that there's an average or median kind of time. So that's going to depend on your program and what guidelines your program has set. But that would be my guideline, is somewhere between the 45 minutes and 90 minutes is what I would enter into LACES.
Thank you. And Kristen said, thanks.
Okay, great. Do we have any other questions at this point?
Not in chat right now. Just as a reminder, if you're in the session, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box.
Great, thank you. All right, so I am going to go ahead and close this window because that'll take me back to just this section. So we have lessons that are pre-built that align with technology standards developed by ISTE. In this particular case for the certification exam, these also lead to certification or can lead to certification. So your students are building skills. Notice that in the docs lesson, what we're actually doing is planning a community fundraiser. It's something that anyone might be involved in at some point. My daughter with Little League has done community fundraising events. So you never know when you may be called upon to do those kinds of things. So this is something practical that our students can be engaged in and use tools. The other thing is that when you're in these lessons, so Google's part 1, Google Docs part 1, down. So then how do you assign this to students? You can do that in 2 different ways. Well, you can do it in multiple ways, obviously. The 2 I'm going to focus on are either Google Classroom or right here within the Applied Digital Skills. So this time I'm going to do it in Google Classroom. If I want to share this in Google Classroom, I just click here to share. and I have to have my classroom. Well, I don't have to have my classroom already built. I can put it anywhere. So you can see I have a G Suite certification classroom. Or if I scroll all the way to the bottom, maybe not. Sometimes it asks you to create a new class, but apparently it figures I have enough, so I must be able to do this. So I'm not going to put it in the G Suite certification because I already have it there. I'm going to put it in my playground. And I'm going to create an assignment. And now that it's here, I'm going to name it Docs Part 1, maybe. I'll give my students any instructions they need to do. Please complete this. I like giving things due dates. Now that depends. I mean, if you have students who are coming into your class at all different times and they may have different due dates, you can, oops, I guess I'm done. I did not mean to post it to my class. But in Google Classroom, you can assign things to just one student, right? And give them a due date. But then you have multiple assignments. So it depends on how you're managing your classroom. And that is a completely different session. But again, so I can go into my classroom, I can go to playground, and now I will see it in my classwork. Okay. Now, the other thing that I have done for you, if you choose to take advantage of it, is we have this site. It is a Google Classroom, and way over here in the right-hand corner, you will see I'm not signed in as me anymore. I'm signed in as Classroom Share at nmdelt.org. And to access that account, you would go to google.com, just like you would log into any Google account. Or even here, I can add another account. Right when I click on this, you can see how many I have in here. So you would add another account, Classroom Share at nmdelt.org as your login. Too Fun to Share is the password, and the F and the S are capitalized. So then you're logged in as a user. This can get a little complicated, and don't worry if you have any problems with this, we can help you. But here at the G Suite certification class, whoops, I'm going to open it. And then I'm going to go to people, and I would include myself as a teacher. But today I'm going to invite Kristen instead. So you also have to have an NMDelt account. You can't share it to your regular Gmail account. It is restricted to anyone with an NMDelt account. Then you would go to your Google Classroom. So back over here, excuse me. Excuse me. And you would see the classroom come up. So you would accept the invitation, just like you can see I've been invited to a couple other classes that I haven't accepted yet. So you would click accept. And then after you do that, make a copy of the class and then come back here and delete yourself from this one. Okay, so we will get some more detailed instructions out for you on how to do that. But just I wanted to introduce you to the fact that this is here for you, that classroom's already been set up. It's not difficult to do if you want to just use G Suite and do each one of these lessons. You do have to do them one at a time to get them all into one classroom. So I went ahead and did that for you. So that's just the certification part of applied digital skills. The other part of that is when you go directly to, before I move on though, are there any questions about the certification part of Google Applied Digital Skills?
We do not have any questions in the chat right now. Just as a reminder, you guys, if you have any questions, let us know. And if you missed the classroom share login info, that is in the chat as well.
Great.
Oh, Leslie asked, what was the class code?
Oh, the class code. What is the class code? So there we go. So if you wanted to look at this as a student, the class code is 7URR43M. But if you want
and
to use
the invite link to join as a student in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tina, go ahead.
That's okay. Let me see. I could add Leslie right now. Leslie, do you have which Leslie is it?
Leslie Hicks.
Oh, I don't seem to have. Oh, I see her. Leslie, you don't seem to have a teacher account yet. So we'll fix that later, but I see you in here as a student, so that's great. And now I see Kylie too. Wonderful. So great. So you can explore that as a student. If you want to be invited as a teacher, either I can do that, Emily can do that, you can come into the classroom, share and do that however you like. Just let us know. All right. So there are, aside from the certification, maybe your students aren't interested yet in certification, don't know that they're interested, you're not interested in guiding them through that process, doesn't matter. Notice I am logged in here as a teacher. So you want to go to Apply Digital Skills and create your teacher account. So if I were to sign out, it would give me an option to register. And I'm going to just go directly to lessons. And what kind of teacher am I going to be today? I'm going to choose by topic. And I want an English and language arts assignment today. And let me see, it's English and language arts. So I probably want to create a doc. Or better yet, let me do a slideshow. Let me do slides instead of docs. Great. This looks like fun. Collaborate with classmates to create an interactive story using Google Slides. Let's just look at that one. This is going to take 2 to 3 hours. So depending on the time of my class, I might want to make this over a couple of days, or maybe this is a homework assignment. I want them to do this outside of class and then bring it into the class to present it. Depends on how you want to do it. But everything you need to do is here. So there's an introduction to digital skills. Here's your overview. So this is obviously a video. We've got an apps pre-survey. So they have to sign in to take a survey. So I'm assuming, I've never seen this lesson before, that if there's a pre-survey, there's probably a post-survey too. Right. So again, before I teach this, I would go through the whole thing and at least look through it, preview the transcripts, find out what it's really all about. But this gives me a good idea. So I've got an introduction, a pre-survey, I've got brainstorming ideas, write an if-then adventure story introduction. We've got a reflection at the end of this component. So this I might even break up in classes into 4 different sections since this is very nicely done. We've got another reflection component here. So creating choices and links. So I know enough about this. It's like, if this happens, then you're going to go to this slide. If something else happens, you're going to go to a different slide. So teaching them about links and how to make different things happen. It is, for me now thinking about this, again, this is the first time I've seen this, this would be another way of gamifying your lesson as well. So they're learning about Google Slides, they're learning how to insert pictures, maybe even drawings. They're learning how to write so that their story is cohesive. They're learning about if this, then that, relationships, build all of those skills, reflecting on everything. And it seems that this would have a collaborative piece to it as well, or could have a collaborative piece. And then there is even an extension activity here. So if I decided as a teacher, I really like this, again, if I were teaching it, I would take a lot more time looking through this. And why does it look like I am not signed in? I see Emily blinking, so I know I still have internet.
Still gotcha.
You still got me. Okay, so I don't know what happened. So writing the if in adventure story. So I can put these in Google Classroom, but for this one, I'm just going to add it. I'm going to say, okay, I don't have G Suite. I don't have an NM dot. I don't want to use Google Classroom. I'm using. That's okay. You can add it to a class right here in Applied Digital Skills. I'm going to create a new class this time, and I'm going to call it English Language Arts. And it's going to be adult learners. And now I can view my new class. So this is what I see as a teacher. I can add more lessons to this class. But for right now, I just have the one lesson in here. As Leslie asked before, it has a class code. So if you want to join this class, you can enter this class code, which is 8RMMP5. And then you'll see what a student sees. So again, I can view the lesson, I can view the materials, I can now see the progress, how are my students doing in here. It doesn't have the same kind of grade book that Classroom has. This is very, very basic, but it does help me track my students. The other thing that I can do, here's my teacher, right, my profile. So I'm going to click on my profile. And I want to look at it in student view. I know a lot of you have created 2 accounts. You've got a teacher account and a student account, just so that you can see it as a student. Here, you don't have to. So I'm going to change my role to student. And here I see all of the classes, right? Except that I have not yet entered that other class. And now, Emily, what was that class code? Wait a minute. Did you put it in the chat?
I did. It is AR.
I got it. Good thing. Perfect. So there it is. Now my English language arts class is here. And this is exactly how a student will see it. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my teacher view.
And Tina, we are at 11:20, so we have about 5 minutes left.
Perfect. So that is your general overview. I know it's a very quick overview. I think it's much better to explore this site anyway. Just get in there, dig into some of the lessons. Let us know if you find something you like. Did anyone explore a different lesson that they thought might be good? While I'm waiting to see if any questions come up, other features that are here, there are other resources for you, right? Some great teacher resources. Here's a getting started guide, some remote learning tips. You shouldn't need the Guardian's guide. Certificates. So there are certificates for many of the lessons. There's that poster that I shared, a help center, some other lesson plans, rubrics, right? So be sure to check out the resources as well. The lessons, of course, are my favorite. And then just the teacher site so that you can start teaching. Again, I really like that it's contextualized digital literacy. So it's not digital literacy just for the sake of teaching those digital skills, but it also has a purpose, so it fits into your curriculum.
That's kind of in the chat. Kylie said she liked the module where students learned Google Sheets through the creation of a work log, which is great segue.
Awesome.
Teaching those practical skills. And she also said, thanks. I didn't know you could create a class just within Google Applied Skills.
Excellent. So yeah, it depends on how much you want to manage it. I think the Applied Digital Skills class within just Applied Digital Skills has fewer management tools, but that's okay. It's quick and easy, and your students can get in there.
So we are at 11:24. So a quick reminder, don't forget to today's session. Ooh, if I can type evaluate with the link in the chat box. And then if you have any questions, please type them in the chat now so that Tina can answer them for you.
And we are continuing with open space after lunch. So even if one of the things you wanted to do was to create a session to talk with other teachers about using applied digital skills, or about any of the other sessions that you've been to today, please feel free to stay with us, or I encourage you to stay with us for the open space sessions. where you get to talk about things that are important to you.